Good morning. This is Navarro. I am giving you a quick tutorial on how to set up your Google Classroom according to the standards that we've been given from admin, um, as well as just a couple tricks I've learned so far through trial and error, setting up my classwork for my students so that they have a limited number of links, limited number of files that they're seeing every single day to complete. Um, so let's get started. This is my Google Classroom page. If you want to join, just ask, or you can enter this class code, and we'll get you approval pretty quick. Obviously, screen page, pretty straightforward. Everything has been organized chronologically. Pretty much just use this page just for announcements, and so students can kind of see the progress of their work as far as how it was assigned. In order to structure your classwork, it's a much easier avenue other than messing with it in the stream, is to go to classwork, come here, organize your work for current weeks, last week's, and archived. Um, this was given out in team notes last week, but very easy to set up. All you need to do is to edit your assignments, so you can just click on any assignment and go into this edit function. So what you'd be looking at here in order to archive, like for example, this week, after Monday, or I should say probably after Sunday, you'll need to change the way that you archive this past week's work. So what you would need to do is go over here under the topic. If you have not created topics yet, this is how you do it. You could just click on Create Topic and list these three categories of current week's, last week's, archived works. I'm not accepting any work after a week out because there's just too much to go back and look through Google Forms for. Just organize your things like that. And once you create the category, you just select which one you want to click as, and then save out. It's that easy. What will appear on your for the student view is that everything will be organized by week. And that's pretty much it. I've had some requests to show how do I make my lessons. How do I have videos embedded in one form for the warm-ups, guided notes, lectures, embedded videos, exit tickets, and homework all in one form. So I'll kind of show you how that's done. So for this Monday's lesson, go ahead and open this up. What you'll notice right away is the instructions. So pretty much every assignment, if there's anything out of the norm, I will put instructions in. If it's pretty standard, it's just kind of a copy and paste thing. This week I'm putting down a little bit more detailed information because I want to try and standardize this as I move forward, make it a little bit more clear, especially with our grading policies. So in the edit assignment function, you can go in here and take a look and see that number one, you'll notice that I have a link to Amplify built in. I can show you how to do that very quickly. If you go to Amplify, go to your current lesson on Amplify, it'll let you know, like, hey, this is what's going on, blah, 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 looks familiar, this is the same way you see everything. The things that I want the students to do on Amplify, meaning mostly just the simulations, because that's something that they can play with and they can actually manipulate. I'm not doing any type of data collection or grading on Amplify. But for example, here we have in part 2, there is a sim that pops up. So I want the kids to be able to have access to this activity. So I want them to be able to access this link. So what I would do is go up here to the Assign in Google Classroom button. I would make an assignment for my remote learning class. Click on Go. You'll notice it will create a brand new assignment. I don't want a brand new assignment. I don't want there to be that many links. So what I'm going to look down here for is the actual link that they've given me. I right click on that. I copy that link. And then I just close this down. So when I go back to my assignment here, I just do add, and I click on link, and I just paste that link right there, and that gives you the link that you can see that's already been listed. All right, so that way the kids can click onto this, have one tab open of Amplify for simulations if they want. If they can't do that, they can't access it, no big deal. I'm making a video of whatever they need to do, and I'm going to put that into my daily Google form. So I like Google Forms over Google Docs. Google Forms give you that opportunity to assess and automatically be assessed and graded versus having to go through 42 different Google documents, look at everyone's writing, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So this is just a little bit more streamlined. So I'll show you how to do that. When you create an assignment for Google Docs, for your classroom, click on Create, click on Create Quiz Assignment. I do that for every single lecture. It doesn't have to be called a quiz. It'll automatically pop up and label it as a quiz. But what the quiz function does, it just sets the parameters so that you can assess whenever you're asking a question and assign points. You don't have to every single time. I'll show you how to do that. But that's kind of the idea behind it. So that's what I've done for this Monday, April 4th lesson. This has been set up as a quiz form. I just changed the title of it to the daily lesson. So then we'll go into that lesson right now. Here's what pops up. So I'm in the edit mode of my lesson. So obviously I title the form itself, the lesson day, and then I get rolling into the actual lesson. So the students always know where they're located. Very simple to add graphics, add parts from the investigation journals that the kids have that are given through Amplify. Literally screenshot, cut, paste, drop in. Nothing too big there. Instead of having slideshows, things like that, I put the major points that students need to know from the very beginning right at the front. So this will set the tone for the lesson. They'll know exactly what they're looking for. In the lesson, quick little review from previous lessons, and then building up to our warm-up. So our warm-up is right here. Lets them know what we're looking at. Again, this is going to be our first actual question that's been given on the Google form. When you click on it, you'll notice I'm asking for a paragraph response. I am going to make this required because this is something I want them to respond to. When I do a required, it won't let them move on. It won't let them submit the question. They can't move on to the next part of the lesson until that has been answered. So regardless if it's just abba dabba dabba they put down, they got to put something down. I've made sure that this question is worth 0 points because I'm not trying to grade them on whether they're correct or not. I want them to put their thought down. I can always look on the responses view and see what they wrote, just to see what they're thinking. Again, I'm not grading them on their correctness, but I want them to do it. So that's how I do it. I would put it as an answer key, 0 points, and then click on this. If I wanted to change the format of that question, you just click up on here, and you can do the exact same thing. Even if it was a multiple choice question, you can put in your answers here. If you want it graded or not, you have to click on the answer key and just change that point value. And that's all. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back to paragraph answer. Paragraph answer allows them to write a sentence or two. I'm trying to push for complete sentences, so that's why I almost make any short answer question a paragraph format. Other really cool function about that too is if you want to actually put down a response that will feed back to students once they submit or once they review their document, it will show them like the correct answer or thoughts and things that you want to share with the kids. It's kind of a very cool function. All right, so how do I make them, force them to do every part of my lesson so they don't just speed through like this, get to the bottom and be like, I'm done? Okay, so how we do that is you create sections. So this was the first section, is the start of the lesson, section 1 of 3. See that up here. Scroll down. As soon as I ask them a question, I want to make sure I stop. What I did here is create an add section. Make sure you're highlighted on the box where you want to start after. And then I created a section 2, a warm-up review. So here it actually shows the diagram that they were looking at, their thoughts, and then I give the answer I was kind of looking for the warm-up. Let them mull that over. They can go back, look at what they did, go forward, back to here. But they cannot advance until after they have done this. create a new section. Here we go. We're moving into a student activity. So part 3 of my lesson lines up kind of with the same thing with the Amplify lesson in case you're keeping score at home. So we had the warm-up review. Now we're on the second section, part 2, observing cellular respiration right here. And then you can look on back to the actual lesson. It's the same thing. Cellular respiration in the sim. So quick review once again of what kind of topics we're looking on. This goes in line exactly with what the Amplify instructional guide is for part 2. So if I open that up, you can kind of follow along exactly what we're supposed to be reminding the students of, addressing certain concerns, topics of that good nature stuff. So there you go. Go back here. So now it's time for the simulation. They are going to observe a sim, record what they see, and then answer a question. So here is just kind of what they're looking for on that simulation, and then what's missing is the actual simulation itself. So what I'm going to do right now is show you how to embed a video that I've taken of that simulation and how do you link it. All right, so the things that you got to do before you can do this. So I know I want to put, after this diagram, this picture diagram, I want to put in a video of the simulation viewing all the different cells from the producers all the way to the decomposers on the simulation. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So I want the video to show up right here in between the first question and this image. So what I'm going to do over here is click on Add Video. Now you'll notice you cannot just cut, paste, drop in any video that you have on your desktop. So this is kind of a little bit of a workaround, and here's how you do it. So first off, create your video, whatever service you're using. Make sure you save it to your computer. Okay, so I just save it to my current lessons file that I have on my desktop, and that's about that. Before you can put a video on here, it has to be uploaded to your YouTube page. So I'll show you how you do that. So here's my YouTube page. I'm going to create a new video. Technically, I'm not creating a new one. I am just uploading one that I've already made. So we'll go here. Now, on this view of upload videos, now you can do your drag and drop. So I'm going to go to my desktop where I keep all my videos, and right here, this was the video that I wanted to watch, was the cellular respiration sim demo. So real quick, just a drag and drop. It's going to give you some checklists that you got to go through. The first thing you need to do is scroll down and make sure that you check yes, it's made for kids. That will prevent, if you don't click this box, it'll prevent kids from being able to see the video that you've embedded. It will not make it public. There's some permissions you have to do through YouTube. Hopefully everyone's done that already. If you haven't, I can show you how to do that as well, but I'm not going to do it on this video. So I basically just click through, I make it public. Public just basically means, once again, that your students will have access to it. And those are the only permissions you need to click on this. So I hit publish. It'll let me know that it's uploading on this little page here. Just close that down. And it takes me to the videos that I have on my channel. You'll notice right now this one is being processed. That's one I just put up. And that's fine if it's taking some time. What I want to do is grab that link to that new file, go back to my Google Classroom page, and I'm going to go ahead and just Control V, paste that link in, and then search for that video. So even though it's not uploaded, it will show you the video link. So I click on that and I hit select. And then bang, the video is now on your Google form. So one thing I like to do is just maximize that video as big as I can make it, and that's about as big as it gets on your Google form as far as it allows. And then you can give a title to it. So this would be the, let's go back over here real quick, just make sure, observing cellular respiration. And then that is that. So now you got your video in there. That'll have a couple questions that follow. And that's that. So now you've got an embedded video. What that looks like on other lessons, I can kind of show you. So if we go back to Thursday's lesson, and we do view assignment, My bad. I knew better than that. That was stupid of me. Go to Thursday's lesson, and I click on Edit. This gives me the view of my lesson like it used to be. Boom, right here. Click onto it, and you'll kind of see how this all kind of gets put together. So right here, I've got my lesson intro. Makes them look, read before they can move on. Here comes our warm-up. Once again, a mandated question. It will not let me go past this without entering something. This one's actually worth a point because the answer is right here. Sorting tool, activity. I did provide a link in this lesson for the Amplify access, but this is a pretty simple thing. They can just kind of zoom in and see what needs to go where. Once again, answer is required, but there is no point value on this one. Then here we go. There was an experiment in part 3, a video that needed to watch. This is an example of an embedded video on Amplify. So what I did was screen capture the video from Amplify. If you want to, on Google Forms, you can go straight to the YouTube channel and watch this on a full screen, or you can just watch it right here on the page itself. I just find it's better to have as few windows open as possible for kids so it stops them from getting too confused. And then once again, required question answer. Okay. Another video, more questions. Let me just do this really fast. And most of these questions are ungraded, but I make them required so the students need to answer. They don't need to know that I don't grade them. But this is something I do factor in when it comes to quality of work. If they just give me garbage, that definitely will affect their rating of work quality. Let's see here. We're almost... Another video. Oh, this is something kind of cool that I've been doing. This was their reading they need to do in the lesson. And so what I've done is, well, you'll kind of see on this video. On Amplify, I opened up the article, and I provide a read-along. So that way, all of my students are able to follow along, read, and there's no issues there with your DL students, or just weaker readers. So once again, you can click on watch this video on YouTube. If that video is too small, you can't see. That will open up a new video, but once again, not required. And then here we go. So same form, nothing new, but your exit ticket. Your exit ticket is embedded in the lesson. So we have instructions, exit ticket. I built in some review questions from chapter 1 as well, and then notice that those are all required. And then let me just go ahead to the skip ahead. Wait 1 minute. Page. So now I'm going to go to show you kind of the behind the scenes of the edit view. But you noticed how you had the exit ticket built in. I also built in section 8, which is homework. So here it gives them their homework for what they need to read. And the assignment, what I've done, instead of giving the read-along, I've given them the actual articles on each section. And that was their assignment, was to read. If the lesson picks up in the warm-up the next day, which requires them to answer questions about the readings they just did. So that pretty much wraps my video for you all. One of the most important things that you do for every one of these Google Forms, when you set it as a quiz, are your settings. This is a brand new form that I'm making. Every single time, you must hit collect email addresses, you must hit response receipts, and always make them send out. That way, students, you always know who has turned in what, and you can actually see what their scores were. It's not just an anonymous poll. I always restrict it to KIP users. I always give them one response. I never let them edit after they submit, but I do let them see the summary charts and text responses. Presentation, you can do the progress bar, which is kind of cool because it's a lesson, because it's like an actual organized sequential instruction. I never shuffle question orders. I always keep things just the same. If you like the progress bar thing, you can do it too. That's fine. This is automatically as a quiz because I made it as a quiz assignment. If there are short answer submissions that you have to grade manually, then that's the only time I will click after manual review to release grades. If it's just automatic multiple choice grading that's happening, let it get released immediately so kids can see what's up, and then the respondents can actually get a chance to look at their missed questions, their correct answers, and the point values for everything. So make sure that you do that every single day. Every single day you make a lesson, have that done. Otherwise, all the data that is collected, you will not be able to determine who turned in what. So you click save, and that's about it. So I'm going to keep cracking through this lesson, wrap it up. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I hope you all are doing well, and I will catch you on the flip side.